about this. If your husband and wife is cheating on you, and you can even snap and go punch her in the face. You can snap and go, rape their car with your key. I'm not telling you should. I'm telling you it's wrong, but it does happen because it at least gives you some release and it keeps you from snapping and killing somebody. Right. But you can't key the church. Right. You can't break a window out in the church. The church is an unconfrontable mistress, and the man or the woman of God who's having an affair with the church, they present to you all the reasons why they should have this mistress in their life, and you are sitting there saying, I feel bad. Listen, how does that sound about that? I'm telling him, you at the church too much. Man, this church is like a mistress, man. It calls you in the middle of the night. Man, it creates a level of atmosphere of excitement every time you come to it. Man, you find reasons to be in business meetings. You find reasons to go through revivals. You find reasons why to run all around the country. You find reasons why to always stay up in the Word. You find reasons why to always come to this church. And your family is home wondering, why would God curse me like this? Why would he take my husband? Why would he remove my wife? Why do I have to raise my children without the other component in my life? It's because you're involved with a mistress called ministry, and God is not in it. God is not in this thing, man. God is not in this thing. See, everybody can't receive this level of lesson because we always thought that I'm supposed to give my entire life to the church. God will never call you to give up your family for ministry. Because your family is your first ministry. Your family ought to supplement your ministry. Your family and your ministry ought to partner in the middle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that your family continues to support the ministry that God gave you. In the beginning, God created family before he created ministry.
That's right.
And he's not going to go against his design. He did it specifically that way. God is intentional. He said, I'm going to make a family before I make ministry. As a matter of fact, ministry wasn't necessary until sin entered into the atmosphere. Man, you read it for yourself. Ministry wasn't necessary until sin appeared. And then ministry was necessary. So don't let the enemy trip you and fake you out, and then you be standing there, wonderful mega ministry, but at the expense of your family. Who won? God didn't win. You sure didn't win, because you're a living epistle, read and seen of men. And what you're showing men is that I can put my family up at the expense of I'll put my family up at the expense of the ministry. Wow. Or I'll get a ministry at the expense of my family, rather. That's not godly. And so there's some folks, man, that's just having an affair with the church. And again, you need to learn balance. I always tell folks here, let me tell you something. It's God, family, ministry.
Amen.
That's the order of the day. If you're on ministry and the ministry is interfering with your family, do your family. We're going to figure out a way to make it somehow. And if too many folk have to get off the ministry, we'll shelve the ministry for the sake of your family. Because God will always raise somebody else up. Now, don't get mad when you're trying to do family, but you really don't want to do family, because what has happened to you is that you got caught. And usually when folks break away from that affair, when they get caught, they're really not sorrow. They don't have that godly sorrow. They just busted and they're ashamed. But when you really want to be delivered, man, you don't wait to get caught to stop. You put up barriers and roadblocks to prevent you from going back to that thing, because it's a drug and it'll be calling your name. And in the middle of the night, I'll be here, Mark. And I better do some stuff to make sure, look, I better have something in place that acts as my group. So when I start hearing that thing call my name, I go to the group instead of go to the house. Ooh, my God. I know you ain't ready for this one, man. But there's some folks who are in this thing because the church has become nothing more than a mistress for them. Now, I'm saying all this stuff because it's important for you to understand that when you go to church for all the wrong reasons, you end up experiencing something called arrested development. And when you start experiencing arrested development, it stifles your growth. What is arrested development? Arrested, what? Let's look at the words. Arrested, what does arrest mean? It means that someone has now taken you captive. Someone has restricted your forward progress and mobility. You no longer have your liberty and your freedom. You are now under the control of someone else. Development, growth, maturity, forward progression, moving forward. So when you're experiencing arrested development, your spirituality is stopped. It's locked up. It can't move forward. There's no progression. destruction, and oftentimes it's a result of your own doing. When folks get arrested, it's because they broke the law. They did something they shouldn't have to do, and then somebody else has to now come and take control of them and penalize them for their wrongdoing.
Come on, come on, come on.
So when we experience arrested development, it is because we have done some stuff wrong, and we literally have tied our own hands. Good God Almighty. And you are now sitting there all messed up and mad because you did something stupid. And you now can't even proceed forward. And now you're having this internal conflict with yourself because you know you were created for more. You know you're supposed to be doing more. You know there's something deep in you, but you made a mistake, and now you're walking like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shackled by your own stuff. Now, when we really start showing up here for the right reason, it can be very, very helpful in figuring out why we are here. You've got to get this down first. If you're coming here for all the wrong reasons, then what will happen is you'll eventually be released out there for all the wrong reasons, and you will not have fixed this. And then what's in this will just be taken out there, and then all the stuff that's on you will be transferred to people that already are hurting and weak.
Come on.
You can't go, listen, do me a favor. If I ever get sick and I'm in the hospital and you have a real bad cold, don't come visit me. Call. Send a text. Because the environment that I am in, they're trying to make it sterile so that I don't get worse. You come with your infection and your sickness, and what happens? The moment you step into the atmosphere, what happens? You have contaminated the environment. And do you not know that some of us are like that? We're not healed, we're not whole, and we don't want to be. And you keep wondering why every time I step into the environment, it becomes contaminated. Because you showed up. It's like looking for the perfect church. If you know that there's a perfect church in the city, don't go there.
Don't go there.
Because the moment you go there, you just wrecked everything that man or that woman has been building for however long they've been building it. Because we are a messed up people. Huh? Luckily, we serve a God that can do exceeding and abundantly above all we can ask or think. So when we start figuring out why we're here, then we are ready to discover what purpose is. What is purpose? In a nutshell, purpose is the reason for a thing.
Yes, sir.
Purpose is the reason why a thing exists. Why do you exist? Why are you here? Why did God place you in this area of time at this time that you have? Your hourglass is running. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you are wasting time. If you don't know why you were created, now you can begin to get a glimpse of why you're frustrated. Because if you're not functioning in purpose and or design, it breeds frustration. But the moment you start figuring out why you're here and then start operating in why you're here, you start living on design. You start living life by design. You start having a purpose-driven life. That's why folk can't really contend with me. I've got to the point where I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. You can't even slow my roll. The best you can do is get run over by my pace. Because I'm making up for lost time. I made bad decisions. I made bad choices. I did some negative stuff while I was in ministry. I'm even paying a price for some of the stuff I did in the future. There are some things I see right now, and although it frustrates me in ministry, I literally have to sit back and say, you know what? I'm just reaping what I sown.
There you go.
And I'm mature enough to at least accept that fact. Had I not sown that seed,
That's right.
I wouldn't be reaping that harvest.
That's right.
But thank God that when the harvest grows, it's going to be snatched up, and then we can plant a new crop. Good God. And the new seed that I plant is now seed that I'm planting from the learning and the education I got. So now I can understand the scripture. It was good for me. I would have been afflicted. You mean that pain has some purpose?
Yes, sir.
Goodness, you mean that thing really is designed to teach me something? You mean that I don't have to stay locked up in my past? You mean that I can be forgiven? You mean that I can experience grace and mercy? I'll get something I don't deserve, and then God won't give me what I deserve? My God, my God. Man, so I do not want to experience arrested development, because arrested development, it will stifle my spiritual growth. It'll keep me from moving forward. My development will be slowed down or stopped, and I'll never grow and become mature. And if I never grow and become mature, then I can't endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Every little thing is going to hurt me, and every little thing is going to make me mad. Every little thing is going to make me put my thumb in my mouth. I'm going to take my ball and I'm going to go home. So they talked about me. I'm going home. They won't let me sing. I'm going home.